It feels like a strange one out there. Shared the points, but it doesn't feel like a satisfactory result for either team, really.
No, I think you're probably right. I think both teams wanted to win. Well, we did in particular. I thought we was on the front foot first half. Tried to play out and play some nice footy, but ultimately missed out on the defensive aspect of it all over the pitch where we didn't press particularly well. Was second to a lot of balls, and they were much better than us, which kept them in the game and caused them a little bit of a threat. Frustrating that their only shot on goal comes from the penalty spot because I think the back four defended pretty well. And Amir that obviously won the penalty. For me, it probably is a penalty, but it's a soft penalty to concede. I think we can deal with that better as a group. So that's frustrating, to be totally honest with you. Came in at half time and we explained that just wasn't good enough. 5, 6 out of 10 wasn't good enough. It was good enough to draw the first half, mainly due to hard work from Parker, for Josh working hard up front. But yeah, disappointed. But we said come out and give it a bit more fight, and a bit more fight we did for the second half in its totality, to be honest. But when we went down to 10 men, I think all the ascendancy that we'd started to gain, which we was always more likely to win, in my opinion, than them. And we was more on the front foot. We had a lot more shots, obviously. But when we're down to 10, that meant that they actually could have give it a go, because I think in that second half, I think they were happy just to sit in and try and frustrate us, which they did do, to be fair to them, which resulted in probably a little bit of impatience from me. I went a bit direct when I was in comfortable position, just trying to turn them, get Josh and Tom and Smithy into good areas. Probably should have been more patient, so a little bit frustrated, and reflect on that myself and watch it back on the VO. Yeah, disappointed, mate. Really, I think that's a game. I mean, they're a good side. They've got some good players. They've got a good manager now. That I think, that's no disrespect to Peds, because I'm a big Peds fan. They've got another good lad in that's going to turn their ship round definitely, and they're in transition, so that's definitely an opportunity to go and go get points. And I'm disappointed that we've only come away with one, really.
You mentioned the first half there. I thought from a Greens point of view, it maybe felt a bit flat, and Wisbech maybe just had that little bit more about them in the first half.
Yeah, well, we said we were good on Saturday, so we kept it the same. Maybe that's a bit of naivety from me. Maybe I'm expecting certain fitness levels to be where they probably should be, but I don't think we had that. I think some of them lads that we questioned their fitness a tad, I think they looked a little bit heavy leg today. So maybe I should have rotated it earlier. As we said to Paul at the sidelines, we could do it now after 30 minutes, to be honest, because I thought we looked just lethargic. And lethargic was enough to be in the game. There's no doubt about that. And we obviously disappointed, even when we've been probably 6 out of 10, not to win the game from chance creation and stuff. But it's not enough, because we should have turned it on today on our home patch and really give it a good go. And I don't think we did. I think we huffed and puffed. And even huffed and puffed probably could have been enough when they're in a difficult transition period. But yeah, I think it's rare that we'll play Saturday, Wednesday with the same team again, because that wasn't good enough.
I thought going forward, offer enough as you would have wanted. I thought possibly you were missing that killer pass. There was a lot of good football sort of in your own half, but when it comes to actually delivering something,
I think that's down to them. I think that's down to them frustrating well and not parking the bus per se, but definitely being hard to break down. I think that's credit to them, really. Like the team that we haven't probably got the points that we would have liked for the start of the season, but the football we've been producing warrants that little bit of respect, and I think they've done their homework and frustrated us. So credit to them, really. But I think first half when we said on Saturday when I spoke to you and we said we played those diamonds further up the pitch, we didn't today. So we didn't break them down, and partly down to them being in good shape, but partly down for us moving the ball so slowly, to be totally honest with you. First half in particular, I thought we moved the ball real slow from side to side, which meant we couldn't get that penetration forward. And then second half, I think people worked harder, but didn't ask for the ball. And I think we went into our shell a little bit and didn't really want the ball. If someone was to give you it, you'll deal with it and move it into what we asked. But I don't think there was the positivity to, you know what, no, I'm going to take the game in the scruff of the neck and ask for the ball. I think Hendo did a little bit when he came on a couple of times, but even him, I thought he's got another 2-3 levels. So I think that young man's going to be a fantastic player for us. They're just disappointed overall, really. I think it's a missed opportunity. I can cope with dropping points when we should. Today, I think we shouldn't have done.
I suppose if there's one positive to say, Josh Parker was impressive again. He was trying to make things happen. He was making those runs, but ultimately he wasn't found
Yeah, I think Josh is a good player, no doubt about that. Little moment of magic in the first half where he turned and whacked one, which I think got even the wrinklies off their seats. Um, but yeah, so he's got a lot of ability. There's no doubt about that. But to be honest, his joy today was just from pure hard work. We have some really good footballing lads, but if you're not prepared to work hard or not prepared to mix it, that's a worry for me. That's something that's always been me. I've not necessarily been blessed with people in the squad that have been fantastic footballers, or they've been a little bit few and far between. This year we seem to have that in good spades, but we're looking to missing a little bit of grit and take me out the starting 11, take Charlie out of the squad. I think that grit definitely missing. That is something we're looking to address. I think as much as we're carrying a good sized squad now, probably the right numbers. We've obviously moved on 4 really good lads, and we wish them well. But I think we need someone with a bit of backbone, just to steer the ship a little bit in certain periods of the game. Just a bit of know-how, a bit of experience, and a bit of aggression. Because I think that'll balance really well with what we've got, to be honest. Because we're not a million miles away again. Like I think you watch the highlights back, you'd expect us to win the game comfortably. And as I say, their only shot really was from the penalty spot, which is probably a little bit of naivety to give away a penalty, which was well won by for me. Amir is one of the top players in the league.
You face someone we can expect next week or so.
Something we're working on, mate. I'd expect Charlie straight back in the squad on Saturday. I think we've missed him. I think we just missed a bit of bite, and that doesn't necessarily mean big tackles and stuff like that. It's just having a bit of passion to drive forward and having a bit of bravery. And I think he spurs on a lot of these boys. I think he's obviously he's more than just a captain at times for us. He can be a catalyst in the same way Joey Smith tried to be in spells today. Obviously, with Joey being away from the club for a year or so, these younger lads look up to Charlie rather than him, and I think that'll come. They'll look at him the same way because he's a really talented lad that's been there, seen it, done it as well. But really, we need to knit together a little bit and just right a few little wrongs, because frustrating, mate. Because as I say, everything's there to go win a game today, and we just haven't delivered.
I do think that obviously Wisbech should just change manager. They're going to get a bounce from that. It was maybe never going to be.
Do we need a bounce? Come take my job, make my life easier.
It was maybe never going to be as easy as the table suggested.
And we know Hippie always does well. He has good sides that are in and around the playoffs. There's a similar sort of team to us over the last 2-3 years, and that's great to him. He's got great connections with Stamford. You see, they've got a few of the Stamford boys through and stuff. So they'll kick on and go from strength to strength, no doubt whatsoever. Made some good additions again today, as I say. I know Amir signed probably like the week before him. I really like Amir. I think he's a great player. Striker Foster has come in as well. He's a useful addition. Big boy up front's always a handful, and they're a good side. They'll be more than fine. No doubt about that. But as I say, whilst they're in transition, go get the game won today and get 3 points on the board. Missed opportunity.
Forward Saturday, weird way, it's a very similar game, isn't it? You face another from siding deep in.
Yeah.
Just change the manager.
Yeah.
So you can expect a very similar game.
Yeah, I expect them to be very similar. I think they'll try and be hard to beat. Got a few bits of quality up front, a bit of pace in a few of them, and then in Mormon they've got a bit of out and out quality. They'll be interesting. Another good test for us. There's no easy games in this league. Let's be honest. You've got to go win it, and that's the frustrating thing for me. We've given people the patterns to go play nice, pretty football and get a pat on the back for how good you've done. But we seem to have lost a little bit of grit. I think Charlie's an immediate fix to that, so I expect him to play straight away. I'd like to think that I'd probably get in the team again, and then if that means Robbo gets pushed forward into the midfield like we did in the second half, and that gives us a bit of physicality again, all of a sudden you got 3 new big uns in and around the place, and Black Book might be out because I think we're missing a piece at the minute. We're definitely missing a piece.